hello, hello. I am Christy Abel, and I am very excited to share this crash course in what it's like to be a projector with you. But before we begin, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate that I'm coming to you from the traditional land of the Sawasan, Musqueam, and Coast Salish peoples, and I'm so grateful to be able to live, work, play, and learn here. Haichka. So, my friend projector, in this video, you are going to learn the basics of what it means to be a projector. I'll give you some details about your energy type, as well as how to use your strategy in your daily life, how to know when you're out of alignment, and how to know when you're in. And then we'll talk briefly about how we can use tarot to help us along and expand in our human design. All right, so all projectors are going to have certain areas of their chart in common. There's technically four. I just kept out energy type because we were already talking about it. So basically, your strategy, your sign, and your not self theme are going to be all the same across the board for all projectors, but the rest of your chart is going to differentiate you from other projectors. All right, so the rest of your chart, depending on your unique design, is going to be your profile, which is essentially your personality type, your authority, which is how you should make decisions, your incarnation cross, which is basically like your life theme or your life purpose, your manifestation process, your strongest sense, your emotions, and then your 64 gene keys slash gifts from the universe. So these are going to make you more unique, right? So I'm not going to cover these things. It's way too broad. And again, this is like an overview. It's a basic overview. I couldn't even do that anyways because it's unique for everybody. Okay. So your energy type is basically how your energy functions. So projectors have this very special thing that none of the others, that none of the other energy types have, which is this ability to see the big picture. It's this ability. It's like you're like a bird up in the sky, and you can see everything that's going on, right? And you instinctively know how to make it better. Okay, so this is a really important quality that as a projector you should embrace and not fight against this. So you're because of this, you're going to be more valued for what you see rather than what you do. Okay, now this is very counterintuitive to how society has trained and conditioned us to be in our like just work, work an 18-hour day and you'll be successful. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine. When I was a teacher, I used to work like 12-hour days, and that was, I mean, way too much, right? So anyways, I am now a counselor. And with that in mind, when it comes to me doing the tarot and combining it with human design, I'm also going to blend it with psychology because I have an extensive counseling background. And so guess what? I ain't afraid of no swords, which is fantastic because I can use them to help people with their mental health and just with their thought processes and stuff like that. Anyways, slight diversion. Okay, so your purpose here is as like a fine tuner. Okay, you are here to make things more efficient in the areas that you are interested. Okay, so as a human race and as a planet, right? We're if everybody was a doctor, we wouldn't have any buildings, we wouldn't have any YouTubers, we wouldn't have any schools, right? Like we wouldn't have any of these things. So the universe gifted each and every one of us special talents and abilities. Now, sometimes again, they've been socially conditioned out of us. Let's say, for example, you have a natural talent for art, but you were told your whole life that artists starve. Well, I'll tell you right now, I know a heck of a lot of artists who do just fine, right? It's just a matter of, um, anyways, of probably going along rather than fighting it, right? So for you, it's about fine tuning things. Okay, so it could be a new system of operating at work. It could be just reading somebody's body language. It could be tweaking a recipe to make it healthier or to make it taste better or whatever. We all bring different skills and passions. And it's so important. It's like a universal rule with human design that we are to follow the things that really light us up. Okay, those things, not the things that we feel like we have to do, the things that we want to do. With that in mind, I am not saying go quit your job or tell your boss, oh, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. But perhaps you could start offering things about what you see rather than what you do and having the permission to speak up and do that. Okay. So this is a giant permission slip for you to talk and share about what you see. Now, there are some conditions which we're going to get to when in a few minutes. Okay. So the universe made the things that you like on purpose. They're not random. So when you are looking for, like, think about the things that you could just do and you lose track of time. Let's go back to art. Okay. I respect people who are artists so much because I'm honestly shit at it. Like, and it's okay, right? Like, I also can't sing, right? Like, I don't have a great singing voice. And it's okay because I don't have to be good at everything, and neither do you, right? So you want to follow the topics and things that you could do all day long. Again, they're not random, they're sent by source. When I talk about source, I mean the universe, I mean God, I mean the quantum field, whatever floats your boat in terms of how you feel about your higher power, just interchange those, right? But for me, it's source and the universe. I also like the quantum field and occasionally God, but that's another story. And again, may come up in the tarot. Now, let's talk about how your energy flows. So it's super efficient. So if you're like, why does it take everybody else so long to do something? It's because they're not a projector, right? They're in the other 80% that needs to take their time to do things. So you are actually here to free yourself that you have to work hard all the time. Okay. So you're going to be going in spurts. Now, once you clear out some space, you'll be able to get back to helping make the world more efficient. Now, the more you improve the ways the rest of us live and work, the more successful you're going to become. So, projectors actually make great bosses. Okay. So, if you have any aspirations to become the CEO, to become a boss of your own company, heck yes. Okay. You are supposed to. Okay. And it's because you have this bird's eye view, it's because you have this innate way of knowing how to make things better and more efficient. You will be and valued. And again, for what you see. So you are not built to go, go, go all the time. You're supposed to be doing a lot of observing. Okay. You're supposed to be doing a lot of observing, watching, processing, refining, and then developing a new system. And then when you're done with that new system, rinse, repeat. Okay. Take a break by all means, right? Because you really need to be following your energy, but also take those breaks when you need. If you don't take the breaks, you don't allow the universe any space to come and give you more, right? To give you more of what you want. So I talk about this a lot in my practice. We cannot put something where there already is something. Okay. We can't put it. So right now I am holding this glass of water. Yes, maybe I could hang some things off there, but I'm holding this water. So it is taking up space. I want some right now. But when I put it down, oh look, there's space for the universe to give me something maybe even better. Although I don't know much better than water, but I love water. Okay. So because we've been told that we have to always be doing something, okay, that means we need to let that go. Okay. So it's not normal for you and it's not how you're going to find success in this lifetime. You need to take more breaks. So maybe that's a nap. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just unplugging and do a little meditation at work or something like that. Yeah. Just see. Okay. Your strategy. So, strategy is your primary way in which you bring the abstract into physical reality. When I first started with January 2020 was kind of like the kickstart of my spiritual awakening. So, I'm about 4.5 years in right now. And it started with meditation, and that's great. And I was like, I still meditate every single day for a minimum of 15 minutes when I get up. All right. But I when I started needing like physical proof, okay, so because I was an atheist and agnostic before my spiritual awakening, and I mean now I'm all in, right? Like yes, yes, please. But I needed that, like I needed concrete evidence, right? So I needed manifestation, and actually, when I first started teaching in the esoteric space, I taught courses on manifestation. And I have 3 of the 4 finished, but as a manifester, I tend to be like a little bit like, "Oh, I get so many downloads that it's hard for me to pick sometimes." I may finish that course because the 4th one would be pretty sophisticated, involving like quantum leaping and, parallel universes and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel. Right now, I am all in for human design and tarot. So your strategy is to wait for the invitation. And it's like, oh, because guess what? Society and pretty much every personal development program that you can find, it says go for it. Just do it, right? That is so not the case for you. You actually have to be wait to be invited, but that shows up in a whole bunch of different ways. So do not despair. Okay. It can seem a little bit abstract, especially if you've been conditioned or you've done a bunch of courses where they're like, just go out there and do it. Yeah. I mean, there has to be a certain amount of that, but the key thing here is that if you go and do that, you need permission basically from the others to approach them. Now, there's lots and lots of ways that you can do this, whether it's from having us, like, let's say you have a business, you need a website. I mean, everybody needs a website for a business these days, but you really, really need one with options to engage with you. That contact page on your website is your invitation. Okay. You showcasing what you offer for your business is your invitation. Okay. So that's just one example, right? Now, the reason this is because projectors, because they have this, I'll bet you've been told a know it all before. Okay. And another thing, I want to make a bet with you. Okay. My bet that is, and the bet is a like and subscribe. Okay. So if you walk away from this presentation feeling more validated and or have learned something about yourself as a result, you do the like and subscribe. If you did not, you walk away clean and I'll never know. All right. As a manifester, okay, one of my greatest, most freeing moments was to learn that I'm in like the people around me go into three different buckets. One where they're like, oh, heck yeah, I am picking up what she's putting down. Thank you. Number two is I don't know about her. She makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. And then three is like, oh, hell no, I am not buying what she's selling, right? Okay, so there's these three buckets. So I don't even bother with the third bucket because I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Wow, I am just flinging out the mixed metaphors right now, but it doesn't matter. Okay, and then number two, I'm not going to focus on them, but they may come over to this side, to the light side. I'm identify as a light worker, so I'm very much the light. And then the first one. So I'm going to focus on those first groups, right? So okay, that's that. That's enough of that. Another thing about manifestors and projectors is they are actually really great together. Okay, because manifestors love to initiate. That initiation is my strategy and informing, and the projectors is to be invited. So this can actually be a wonderful love relationship as long as the manifestor doesn't overpower everything with the projector, right? But this is one of my besties is a projector, and she is actually my longest like friend that I'm still in touch with because we've been friends since high school. So that is like 30 years. Holy moly. Okay. All right. So it is very likely as a projector that you've given some advice and it was like, or maybe you've been called a know-it-all, right? So, but so there are other YouTubers that can help you with your strategy more. Okay. Like there's fantastic. I see so much growth in the human design world on YouTube that like go search right about waiting for the invitation and you'll get a whole bunch of stuff there. Again, this is just an overview, but it can be as direct as like a request for your services or like legit like a wedding invitation or even an offer to take a look. For you, body language and reading other people's body language is going to be very important because even that can be an invitation, right? So watch and see if people are open when you start talking or if they close off, right? So, yeah, so it can also be really indirect. Like sometimes somebody might just ask a question and that's your invitation. So it's not always going to be something formal that arrives in the mail. I mean, that would be impossible. All right, your sign. Your sign is how you feel when you are in the flow with your human design, and it is always success. And so when you feel successful, you know that you are crushing it in your alignment. So your ultimate purpose, remember, is to help the rest of us get better, okay, to improve. And the way, and you do this by using that sight that you have, that big picture um, possibility that you have, right? So the thing is here, and this is very true in business, but the more people that you help be successful, the more successful you are going to be. So it's really, you are focused on others, really, as a projector, which is again why you make great managers, great bosses, great CEOs, great, because it's knowing that you need to uplift other people in order to uplift yourself. So embrace that feeling of success. So some people get nervous around success because they're like, oh, if I'm too successful, other people will feel lesser. Uh, 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 uh. There is plenty of success, just like there is plenty of abundance, just like there's plenty of everything to go around. And the key thing for you is not to feel guilty or ashamed about being successful, but rather embracing and going like, this is it. This is who I am. This is when I'm in alignment with my human design. And then this is a trigger to the universe to go, I get you. Yes, please. Here's some more. So, like, success should feel fun and exciting and not have any undertones of anything dense or negative. And you're not self-theme. Okay. That is how you feel when you're like out of alignment. And for you, this feeling is bitterness. Okay. So if you feel bitterness, it is a clue that the universe is taking a coffee break. Okay. So when you start to feel that power of being in alignment with source and tapping into this incredible energy of like love and generosity and abundance and all the wonderful things that source, universe, God, quantum field is full of, right? Okay. Then you want to keep it going. But when you start feeling bitter, okay, the tap is off. So, what we want to do now, it's very important to feel your feels. Okay. I do not want to glaze over that. So, if you start to feel bitter, it's okay, but really be careful about how long you spend there. Okay. And it can show up in a lot of different ways. Some of them are like low grade resentment. Well, why is that person? That person's not even very nice. Why are they successful and I'm not? Right? Or judgment, right? Judgment. I did some real good shadow work about judgment and it was so freeing. I think it was one of the probably primary, like denser things that I have been feeling. It doesn't mean I don't judge. I mean, as human beings, our ego needs to like judge things to put them into categories and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, jealousy, that's a big one, okay? And or focusing on the negative for too long. You get to decide how too long is. Whenever it depends on the thing, but like let's say something, and again, this doesn't happen very often that much because I've done again lots and lots of work, but and development, but it's like I'll give myself maybe like 10 minutes, right? And then I'm like, okay, so for me as a manifester, my not self theme is anger. And that essentially shows up when I like don't get what I want, right? So, and of course, I don't always get what I want, but then I recognize I go, oh, I see what's happening. And I'm like, oh, I'm angry. So it's like a signpost, right? That shows you that you're out of alignment. And then you have to make changes because you get more of whatever you focus on. So you need to shift your focus away, right? So notice it, go, oh, I'm feeling bitter. It's my not self. Okay. How long do I want to stay here? Okay. 5 minutes. Okay. Set a timer. Just kidding. Although I kind of do that sometimes, right? Take in the information. Like it's there for a reason. So take in that information and be like, okay. And then move on and redirect yourself towards success. Okay, so why tarot with human design? So the thing about human design is that it's static. That like universal stamp happens once and it is a map or manual about how do you live your life, but it doesn't deal with like the daily, the weekly, that kind of stuff. But the only constant in life is change. So it's helpful to have regular guidance from spirit. And this is where me and the tarot are going to come in. So tarot is a map of the energy that is happening right now. And through blending it with psychology, what the cards, I'm going to respond to what the cards say, and they'll help us with self-reflection and discovery, problem solving, gaining some clarity, as well as future insights. Well, I want to thank you very much for watching. And if you have indeed found value in what I have shared today, you know what to do.